Travel in Vietnam. Weird, but fun culture shock. Don't let culture shock in Vietnam stop you from discovering one of the most fascinating destinations in Southeast Asia. Traveling to a new country always brings excitement. New landscapes, new flavors, new faces, and unforgettable moments. But when cultural habits and social norms are different, travel can also bring confusion, surprise, and sometimes discomfort. What feels normal in one country may feel unusual, strange, or even shocking in another. That is why cultural awareness is essential. Welcome to Vietnam in Motion. This video is designed to help travelers stay prepared, open-minded, and confident when experiencing Vietnam for the first time. Is culture shock common for tourists traveling in Vietnam? Vietnam is a Southeast Asian country deeply influenced by Eastern philosophies, traditional values, and strong community connections. For many tourists, especially first-time visitors from Western countries, traveling in Vietnam can feel very different from what they are used to. Daily routines, social behaviors, communication styles, and even personal space may not match expectations. Some behaviors that seem unusual or surprising to visitors are completely normal parts of everyday life in Vietnam. At the same time, habits that feel polite or appropriate elsewhere may feel awkward or uncomfortable here. These moments are not mistakes. They are simply the result of cultural differences. However, without understanding the context, culture shock can still make travelers feel confused, overwhelmed, or even offended. That is why this video exists, to prepare you for common situations that may happen during your journey in Vietnam and help you experience them with understanding rather than judgment. Let's begin with one of the most commonly noticed culture shock: working out in public places. Working out at a gym or going for a jog on the street sounds completely normal, but Vietnam takes public exercise to a very different level. Early in the morning or in the late afternoon, parks, sidewalks, lakesides, and public squares suddenly come alive. Groups of people, young and old, gather together. Portable speakers play lively music. Movements are energetic, synchronized, and full of life. You might see elderly women dancing to pop songs, middle-aged men practicing martial arts, or entire groups doing aerobic exercises side by side in open public spaces. For many first-time travelers, this scene feels unusual. Exercise is no longer private or individual, it becomes social and communal. At first, it may look strange, but after watching for a moment, it often becomes impossible not to smile. In Vietnam, this behavior is completely normal. Vietnamese society places strong value on community and togetherness. People are socially connected and comfortable sharing public spaces. This collective mindset is visible in many parts of daily life, from public exercise to family gatherings, weddings, and even funerals. It is common to see neighbors helping each other prepare food, set up events, or simply work together without being asked. Public workouts are not just about physical health. They are about social connection, shared routines, and community spirit. And if curiosity strikes, visitors are more than welcome to join. Just step in, follow the movements, and enjoy the rhythm. Locals are friendly, open, and often delighted to see travelers participate. Exercising to lively music with local people, surrounded by laughter, energy, and everyday life, can easily become one of the most memorable experiences of a trip to Vietnam. Something bad may happen: chanting. At first, it may feel unsettling. Imagine stepping into a cable car, high above mountains and valleys. The doors close, the cabin begins to move. Suddenly, the quiet is broken. Soft voices begin chanting, low, steady, repetitive. For many foreign travelers, this moment can be unexpected and slightly unsettling. Thoughts may start to race. Is something wrong? Is this a warning? Did something bad just happen? But take a breath. There is no danger. This is one of the most misunderstood yet fascinating culture shock in Vietnam. Why do some elderly Vietnamese people chant? In Vietnam, many elderly people practice Buddhism or follow spiritual traditions influenced by it. Chanting is not a sign of fear, it is a sign of calm. It is a way to focus the mind, find inner balance, and express sincerity. For them, chanting brings comfort, especially in situations that feel uncertain or beyond human control. That is why chanting may happen in places like cable cars, airplanes, long-distance buses, or even during bad weather. From a spiritual perspective, chanting is believed to help turn bad luck into good luck, to invite peace, and to protect the journey. It is not meant to disturb anyone. It is not meant to signal danger. It is simply a quiet ritual, personal, meaningful, and deeply rooted in belief. A different way to stay calm. In many cultures, people respond to stress with silence, tension, or anxiety. In Vietnam, especially among older generations, calm is often found through spiritual practice. Chanting helps slow breathing, it steadies the heart. It creates a sense of safety. For the person chanting, it is a way to say, everything will be okay. Once this is understood, the experience no longer feels creepy. It feels human.
Don't worry if the person next to you starts chanting. If this happens during your trip, there is no need to feel alarmed. No one is predicting disaster, no one is panicking. They are simply finding peace in their own way. Instead of feeling uneasy, take the moment to observe. Listen to the rhythm, notice the calm, feel how differently people across cultures face uncertainty. For many travelers, this small moment becomes a powerful reminder that not all comfort looks the same everywhere in the world. And sometimes what feels strange at first becomes one of the most memorable cultural experiences of the journey. Open weddings in Vietnam, when strangers become guests. In many countries, weddings are private events. Invitations are carefully planned. Guest lists are limited. Only close friends and family are allowed to attend. But in Vietnam, weddings can feel very different. Especially in rural areas and suburban neighborhoods, a wedding is not always held behind closed doors. Instead, it may take place right in front of the family's home, under large tents set up along the street, with rows of tables, bright decorations, and joyful music filling the air. This tradition has existed for generations. While modern weddings in big cities often happen in luxury venues with strict guest lists, open weddings are still common in the countryside and remain a beautiful reflection of Vietnamese community life. A celebration shared with everyone. If you spend time traveling through Vietnam, there is a chance you might stumble upon a wedding without expecting it. You may hear music echoing down a quiet road. You may see people dressed in formal clothes, smiling and laughing. You may notice long tables covered with food and guests coming and going freely. Some travelers even share their surprise online. Stories of being invited to sit down, eat, and celebrate, despite being complete strangers. In many cultures, this would feel unusual, even inappropriate. But in Vietnam, this openness is a sign of hospitality. For Vietnamese families, a wedding is not only about the couple, it is about sharing happiness with the community. The more people who join, the more joyful the celebration becomes. An invitation from the heart. When travelers are invited to join a wedding feast, there is no expectation attached. No formal introduction is needed, no obligation exists. It is simply an invitation to share a moment of happiness. Sitting among locals, listening to laughter, and tasting traditional dishes offers a rare and authentic glimpse into Vietnamese life. You may witness wedding rituals, toasts, and group photos. You may see neighbors helping serve food, and elders offering blessings to the newlyweds. These moments reveal the deep sense of connection that defines Vietnamese community culture. A small gesture goes a long way. If you feel comfortable and have time, joining in is encouraged. A warm smile and a sincere thank you are more than enough. Locals do not expect guests from strangers. However, if you wish to show appreciation and offer your best wishes to the couple, a small gesture is always welcomed. This can be a modest monetary contribution or a thoughtful gift, depending on the situation. What matters most is the intention, not the value. A moment you will never forget. For many travelers, attending an open wedding in Vietnam becomes one of the most memorable experiences of the journey. Not because of luxury or formality, but because of warmth, generosity, and genuine human connection. It is a reminder that in Vietnam, joy is meant to be shared, not just with family and friends, but with anyone who happens to be there. Mot hai ba yo, the sound of Vietnamese party spirit. One of the most surprising culture shocks in Vietnam is not something you see, it's something you hear. Imagine sitting in a small local restaurant. Plastic chairs, metal tables, cold beer on the table, hot food in the air. Suddenly, from a nearby table, a loud chant breaks the noise of the street. Mot hai ba yo. Glasses are raised, laughter explodes, and in one smooth movement, everyone drinks at the same time. For many first-time travelers, this moment can feel overwhelming, even a little shocking. But in Vietnam, this sound means only one thing. The party has officially begun. What does Mut Hai Ba Yo really mean? Translated directly, it simply means 1, 2, 3, cheers. But culturally, it means much more than that. This chant is a symbol of togetherness. In Vietnam, people rarely drink alone. Drinking is a shared experience, a moment of connection. The chant creates unity. It pulls everyone into the same rhythm. No one drinks before the others. No one is left out. Even children grow up hearing this slogan. It becomes second nature, a part of everyday celebrations. Loud, but never rude. In some cultures, shouting while dining might be seen as impolite or disruptive. In Vietnam, it is often the opposite. The loud chant is not meant to disturb. It is meant to energize. It lifts the atmosphere, it breaks social barriers, it turns strangers into friends. The volume, the excitement, the enthusiasm, all of it is part of the experience. The louder the chant, the happier the table. How to join like a local. If traveling in Vietnam, joining this tradition at least once is highly recommended. Here's how it works. One person stands up, glass in hand. They set the rhythm. The group follows together. Mut, hai, ba, yo. On the final shout, everyone drinks in one go. No hesitation, no half sips, just laughter, applause, and joy. Even if the pronunciation isn't perfect, the effort is always appreciated. Vietnamese people love seeing travelers join in. A moment you will never forget. This simple chant captures something essential about Vietnam. Life is shared, joy is collective, celebration is loud, honest, and full of energy. For many travelers, the first time shouting Mut Hai Ba Yo becomes a moment they never forget. Not because of the drink, but because of the feeling. This is Vietnam, where fun is loud and everyone is invited. Small chairs everywhere, a small detail with a big story. One of the first things many travelers notice in Vietnam is not the food, not the traffic, but the chairs. Small, low, made of plastic, placed directly on the sidewalk. At first glance, they may look uncomfortable, even impractical. For many visitors, especially first-time travelers, this can be a surprising experience. How can a country known for such rich cuisine serve its best dishes on chairs barely a few inches off the ground? And yet, this is one of the most iconic scenes of Vietnamese street life. Why are the chairs so small? The answer is simple and practical. These chairs are lightweight, easy to stack, easy to move.
They allow food vendors to set up and pack away quickly, sometimes within minutes. In busy cities where space is limited, sidewalks transform into dining areas, and these small chairs make that possible. They are not designed for luxury, they are designed for efficiency. And more importantly, they bring people closer together. A different way of dining. Sitting low to the ground changes the experience. Conversations feel more intimate. The distance between people disappears. Strangers often sit side by side, sharing the same small table. This casual setup reflects Vietnamese food culture perfectly. Street food is not about comfort or formality. It is about flavor, freshness, and connection. Meals are meant to be shared, quick, warm, and full of life. First-time discomfort is normal. For travelers unfamiliar with this style of seating, the first few minutes may feel awkward. Legs may feel cramped. Posture may feel unfamiliar, but this discomfort rarely lasts. Once the food arrives, steaming bowls, sizzling plates, bold aromas filling the air, the chairs quickly fade into the background. If comfort is truly an issue, most vendors are happy to help. Simply ask, and they may offer higher chairs or a different seating option if available. Why it's still worth trying? Those small plastic chairs are more than furniture. They are a symbol of Vietnamese street culture. They represent adaptability, simplicity, and a focus on what truly matters, the food and the people. Many travelers later realize that some of their best memories in Vietnam happen while sitting on these very chairs, laughing, eating, and watching life pass by. It may feel unusual at first, but it is worth trying at least once, because sometimes the smallest seats offer the biggest experiences. Coffee shops everywhere, Vietnam's everyday escape. One thing that surprises many travelers in Vietnam is not something shocking or uncomfortable. In fact, it feels more like a pleasant discovery. Vietnam is a true paradise for coffee lovers. Coffee shops are everywhere. No matter where you are, in a busy city center, a quiet residential neighborhood, or near a famous tourist attraction, there is always a cafe nearby. Sometimes cafes are only a few steps apart, lined up along the same street, each with its own personality. More than just a place for coffee. What makes Vietnam's cafe culture truly special is not only the number of coffee shops, but the diversity of styles and atmospheres. Some cafes feel warm and nostalgic, with old furniture, vintage decorations, and soft music playing in the background. Others are modern and aesthetic, designed with minimalism, plants, and natural light, perfect for photos or quiet work. There are cafes hidden in narrow alleys, cafes on rooftops overlooking busy streets, and cafes surrounded by greenery, offering a peaceful escape from city life. Every cafe tells a different story. A place to live, not just to drink. In Vietnam, cafes are not just about coffee. They are social spaces. People come to meet friends, to talk, laugh, and spend time together. Students bring laptops to study. Remote workers settle in for hours. Some people even bring their pets, turning cafes into casual community spaces. Time moves slowly inside a Vietnamese cafe. There is no pressure to rush, no expectation to leave quickly. A single drink can last an entire afternoon. Something for everyone. While Vietnam is famous for its strong coffee, the menus often go far beyond that. Herbal teas, fruit teas, fresh juices, and creative signature drinks are commonly available. Whether someone prefers something sweet, refreshing, or caffeine-free, there is always an option. This inclusiveness makes cafe culture accessible to everyone, not just coffee drinkers. A culture shock that feels like home. For many travelers, this cafe culture becomes a comforting part of the journey, a place to rest, a place to observe, a place to slow down. And while it may not feel like a traditional culture shock, it reveals something important about Vietnam. Life here values connection, relaxation, and small everyday pleasures. A perfect ending to the journey. As seen throughout this video, not every culture shock in Vietnam is uncomfortable. Many are unexpected in the best way. They add color, warmth, and memorable moments to the travel experience. Vietnam does not just surprise visitors, it invites them in. And sometimes that invitation begins with a simple cup of coffee. This is Vietnam. This is Vietnam in Motion.